Oh man, monstrous day for the stock market today, guys. It was one of those green days where everything pretty much went up. We had the Russell and the S&P each go up 2.3%. The Nasdaq went up 2.8, almost 3%, as the Dow went up 2.1%, and we had the VIX go down 6%. So in this video, we're going to break down the markets like we always do. What else is new, right, guys? And we're going to go over stocks that I'm looking at and just in general what's in my watch list right now. We're going to run through a bunch of stocks in this video, how everything played out today. So sit back, relax, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe as well, and let's just dive into the video. So check it out. Again, all across the board, stocks went up for the most part. Individual stocks, obviously, there were some red ones, but the indexes went up all across the board, and we had the VIX down, and the metals went up as well. Gold up 1.6, silver up 2.4% on the day. Very, very strong day. And looking here at SPY, let me actually make my face a teeny tiny bit smaller. There we go. Looking here at SPY, you guys can see in the pre-market, we were actually under $380, $378.40 to be exact, and this thing ran almost to $390 today, intraday. I mean, this thing had a huge move. So from pre-market lows to $390 almost, SPY went up 2.85% throughout that, throughout the course of the day pretty much. And Triple Q in the same time period, let's pull this up. This was at 260 and it got almost at $270 at the intraday high. We're talking about a 3.8%, almost 4% move. That is unreal. So at this point, bulls are putting up a fight, no doubt about it. Today was a pretty strong day for the bulls. And if I go back, actually, we could just start here at Triple Q. I mean, if you guys look where this closed and where it struggled at, right at 270, which did we not say 270 is a big level? You guys can see here that point, 270, was the high from the 3rd of this month. And from the last, I think the last couple days of last year, end of December, we failed at 270. So this is a point where we need to break. If this breaks 270, 275 is next. Like I said, 278 is also most likely going to be, a sticking point. And if we're able to break into the 280s on Triple Q, which is only about 10, 12 bucks away from where we are now, that is where the bulls could really start taking this thing for a ride. But we're not there yet. That's just the reality of the matter. Even though we had a pretty strong green day today, very strong green day today. Triple Q still has some obstacles. And of course, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. But SPY, it still has obstacles, but it's actually looking a little bit better than Triple Q. This one's it's making a little bit more progress here. We can see SPY actually broke out of the highs from earlier this week and from the end of last year. Those highs were right around 387, 387.50. We actually ran all the way to 390 today, pretty much like I said, and closed over 387, almost at 388. So, well, we actually did close at 388. We're down a bit after the bell. But either way, this broke the highs. Very, very good sign. Now we're going to be struggling most likely here a little bit under 390, right by the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. But if that's able to break, guess what? The head and shoulders that we talked about would be out the window because the neckline's at about 390, and this thing could be going to 400 plus in no time. So we'll see. I mean, next week, guys, is going to be a very big week when it comes to direction. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you got to subscribe to the channel because we're going to be talking about how this plays out. We're going to be making videos all week like we do every single week, and I've been making videos for years here on the channel, guys. So hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you all as always, and let's talk about some stocks. Let's break down what ended up happening today throughout the day with some individual names here in my watch list. And let me tell you, there was only 5 red stocks today in my watch list. AMC, JD, which JD, honestly, that one can have a red day because it's been going up like crazy the past couple of days. That one deserved a red day, so that's fine. Other than that, we had Coinbase down again, SoFi, and CrowdStrike. But other than those, we had green all across the board. I mean, it was awesome. Let's talk about how big tech did. Maybe we'll look at some energy stocks and run through some other ones here as well. So you guys remember how Apple took the low out from the middle of June. That was at about 129-ish, 129.50. Well, look at where Apple closed today, right at 129.60. It had a 4% almost green day, $4.50 green day on the day. And it looks like it's starting to rally off this 124 low. I'm not saying this is the bottom. I'm not calling a bottom, or I'm not saying it's gonna go all the way to all-time highs or anything crazy, but it is starting to see some momentum. You guys can see we actually broke the 50 SMA and closed above it as well on the 4-hour chart for the first time in about 3 weeks. So let's see. I mean, if the overall green continues in the stock market, Apple, this thing could start running again. Maybe 130, 32. That's actually the high from, it looks like, the 3rd of this month. Yeah, if that were to break right around 130, 132, maybe we start pushing mid-high 130s. This thing could turn quick. It's one of those stocks that, although it's a massive market cap, it could run a couple days in a row, and it's like, holy crap, Apple just ran up 10%, or Apple just ran up 6, 7, 8%. That's totally possible. So let's see. Right here at 130 is a big, big sticking point, and we'll see how that ends up playing out. So Apple's looking pretty interesting. Amazon, let's pull this up. Did this break 80 yet? Nope. It almost did this morning. It closed at 86, had a nice green day, 3.5%. But earlier in the morning, if I show you guys the intraday chart here, you're going to see this was down on the day at one point. It was at $81, which means at one point it was down 2% from where it closed yesterday. And, this is one that, if it gets, like I've said on the channel, towards the 60s, 70s, I'm going to be adding it pretty aggressively. But at this point, I'm just kind of letting it play out, because the way I'm looking at it, technically, I'm seeing a descending triangle like we've covered, and I think we're going to get a leg down under $80. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion. So with that kind of perspective, I'm just going to wait it out. And if it doesn't work out for me, let's say Amazon rips to $100, it's all good, because guess what? There's thousands of stocks in the stock market, and you're not going to be able to buy every single one at the price that you want. That's just the reality of the matter, guys. I'd rather not buy Amazon and go for one of the other 1,000 stocks out there than force it and try and chase it and FOMO into it at a price that might not be the best value. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. But if it does get to that, next leg down, 60s, 70s, I will be buying Amazon for sure. So let's see some other ones. Meta had a pretty good day today. 130 is where it closed. Very solid, 2.4% green day. And it looks like here, guys, remember we talked about a couple videos ago how 125 was a sticking point? Well, Meta took it out. Meta took out 125, and now we're pushing 130 again. And it looks like now we're going to be going potentially to test the highs from October, from September, which those highs were right around 138, 140. That's where I'd be looking here for Meta to go in the short term. Potentially, of course, nothing is for sure going to happen here. I'm not a god. I don't have the crystal ball. We're just breaking down charts and having some fun, guys, as always. And if you haven't gotten your free stocks, for those of you who haven't gotten them, who doesn't like free stocks, get those free stocks from Moomoo. 15 stocks, each up to $2,000. And you could also get 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited, linked right down below. And full disclosure, guys, if you do use the Moomoo link or the Webull link, it does help out the channel. Full disclosure, it does help out the channel, and I appreciate you guys as always. So that's Meta. Google, let's do a quick little glance here. Google is starting to run. Well, it's not running away from me. I mean, I own it. It's my biggest individual stock holding, but it's pushing $90 again. It looked like it was heading towards the 83 direction, which I kind of wanted to go under that, hopefully. It hit about 85, 86 earlier today, but now it's pushing 88. It's pushing 90 again. We'll see how it plays out. And what's the one that I always put Microsoft last. My bad, guys. For all the Microsoft owners out there, Microsoft's one that I always forget. I don't forget about it. Obviously, it's one of the biggest companies in the world, but out of big tech, I always just glance over it for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because I don't own it in my portfolio anymore. But I don't know. Either way, we have a Head and Shoulders actually here on Microsoft that played out. This is pretty much fully played out. You guys see it. We have the left shoulder right here. We pull up the head. The head's right there. Right shoulder. We have the right shoulder completed pretty much. So at this point, we're pretty oversold. I'm not going to lie. And, we're approaching a multi-month support, which is right around 215, 220. Now the stock's at 225. And out of big tech, Microsoft didn't have that great of a day. I mean, it still had a green day today, 1.2%, but the other ones did a lot better. Again, Apple, 3.7%, Google, 1.6%, so a little bit better than Microsoft. Amazon, what did that one do? 3.6%. So I'd be watching Microsoft here in the 210s, 215, 20 range. It's going to be interesting. Let's just put it that way. Let's see what other stocks ended up moving. Nike just keeps on crushing it. I covered this in my last video. Let's do a quick update. 3.2% green day. Broke over 124, closed above it. Now it looks like it wants to fill the gap to maybe 128, 130. This thing does not stop. But not to burst your bubble, guys. At some point, it is going to come back to reality. Well, maybe not come back to reality like, it's going to go down 50% or anything crazy, but it's going to see some sort of retracement. Probably, let's say if we get one more pop, blow off top rally, whatever you want to call it, let's say it goes to 130, it's probably going to see a little bit of a drop after that. That'd be my guess. So keep that in mind. If you're in Nike as a trader right now, I'm not telling you what to do, but if I were in Nike, let's just say, I would be trimming a little bit. I'd be locking in profits. This thing has had an extraordinary run. I mean, from the 2 quarters ago, it hit $82 to this quarter that they just reported. Now it's at 125. This thing is up about 55% in just the past 90 days. This thing needs to slow down a little bit, at least in my opinion. But it's looking great now. The chart looks great now, no doubt about it. Let's see what else ended up moving today. Pinterest. We talked about Pinterest recently. Let's see how this is playing out. Still playing out. Not really still playing out, but it's still trading. Oh, there goes Siri again. Oh, my goodness. Every video, guys. Every single video. But Pinterest, you guys can see, still in a descending triangle. Still, playing in, this pattern here. And actually, today it had a 3.7% green day. Broke back over the moving averages. Right around 24, 25-ish is where it's at right now. I'm looking at this. If this starts breaking towards 26, I'm going to be interested, potentially. We'll see how it goes. And we also had Chewy do pretty well. Chewy had a 3.8% green day today. Let me actually erase that chart, and let me get this out here. You guys can see Chewy's looking pretty decent. It did see a bit of a sell-off recently, like a lot of stocks, and this one being one that ran up a good amount into that sell-off. It got beaten down even more aggressively. And just it being the type of stock it is, it's a growth stock. It's a bit more volatile in nature. It saw a pretty violent, drawdown from $48 to about $34. It dropped 30% in the span of a month. And at this point, finally, it looks like the stock beat out all the not all the bulls, but a lot of weak hands were shaken out. Let's put it that way. And now we're starting to get the trend continuing here at about the mid 30s. We're now pushing high 30s. So Chewy's one that I'm going to be watching at around. I'm going to set my alert at $40. It's a little bit above where we are now, but it's right above the moving averages on this 4-hour. If we could break out of that point, that'd be a very good sign for Chewy. So that is CHWY. Let's see what else. Visa went up 3% today. Seems like all the stocks went up 3 to 3.5% today. Look at Visa, guys. We do have, it's looking like it's going to retest 220 now, which this stock has been failing time and time again the past year at about 220. You guys can see it here on the yearly chart. Look at that. Stemming back from March of 2022. Yeah, the past couple months, well, really, it's been almost a year at this point. So we can see here, it kind of looks like a cup and handle. Excuse me, guys. Actually, not really. But either way, we have this retest at 220 coming up probably next week. It hit 217 today. I don't think it hit 220 today. It hit 218 at the high. So next week, we're probably going to test 220. And Visa is going to be one that if it breaks that point and I pull the 3-year, you're going to be able to see it from 220 to 230, 235, 250. These are levels that we could be going after that. Let me actually get some water, guys. My throat is tickling me right now. What the heck's going on? Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, how long are we in here? 14 minutes? Not too bad, guys. Hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out in the algorithm. And did you know, little side note, I have a second channel called Stocks Talks Money. Go check that out if you guys want to. We talk more about just general finance. I make some Dave Ramsey video. I've made a couple Dave Ramsey videos where I kind of call out what I don't like about Dave Ramsey, and those always take off a little bit. I get a bunch of hate on those. The like-dislike ratio is like ridiculous. I mean, mostly, well, there are some likes, but it's like 50-50. Mostly, I think the one I just made was mostly dislikes. But either way, if you guys want to check it out, we're going to be making more kind of I don't want to say confrontational content, but more controversial content. That's the word. On that channel. So go check it out. Stocks Money. And yeah, Visa, keep your eyes on it. Let's see what else. CRM went up on the day. Pretty much everything went up on the day, guys. Oh, I almost forgot. Tesla. Let's pull up Tesla. How can I forget, guys? Of course. Tesla ended up going, green on the day. Unreal. 2.5% green day on the day. And this is after, and we covered this in my last video, we got news that they are cutting prices in China. And I actually got, holy crap, good thing I just remembered this. I got a comment, I think it was on TikTok. Let me see if I could pull it up. I got a comment on TikTok. Make sure to go follow me on TikTok, guys. By the way, it's at Stocks Talks Stocks. You'll find me right on there. Just type in my name. You'll find me on there. Someone commented on my TikTok saying there was a line at Tesla China, or at one of the stores or one of the dealerships, because there's an unreal amount of demand. I guess at this point, they're spurring the demand based on just this comment. This guy said, here it is. Did you see the video in China, people waiting in line to buy Tesla like it's Black Friday? Well, I mean, I guess it is. The Model Y is down 24% in price from October. So if that comment is true, and I should have looked into it, but I just remembered it mid-filming, so we're going to run with it. If that comment is true, guys, hey, maybe that move was a good idea. Well, I mean, it probably is a good idea considering demand is weak. Let's just say maybe it worked in the short term. Will it be, will that continue to work? Will they have to cut prices again? I don't know, but based on that, hey, maybe a lot of people are going to, buy more Teslas in China now because they're getting to a decent price. I mean, $33,000 for the Model 3. That's pretty reasonable, I'd say. It's definitely not that here in the U.S., but that's what it is now in China. If I remember correctly, 229,000 yuan, which is right around 33,000 US dollars. So what do you guys think? I mean, very interesting here what's going on, and let's just say it's going to be a very interesting 2023. Let's see any updates here on the live news tab. Tesla's battered stock looks like a buy again. Barron's.com. Who said that? Is that, well, I want to see. Is there any analysts? Oh, that's a long article. I'm not reading that now. But either way, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll wrap it up there. What do you think about Tesla, China, them cutting the prices? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. And how did you guys do today? I mean, it was a great day overall. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Check out the second channel, Stocks Talks Money. And don't forget to get all your free stocks down below from Moomoo, from Webull. Check out my Patreon as well if you guys want to. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.